Good evening, I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news, a schoolboy stabbed to death and a male student is in police custody. Enterprising students step up to the challenge of creating environmentally friendly alternatives. The Accountants Association praises the government's economic progress. And in sports, Combermere School, the best under-19 basketball team for 2019.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
And we begin tonight with news of a fatal stabbing at one of the island's secondary schools. Joining us now to bring us the details of this tragedy is our Lisa Broom. Lisa, what do we know?
Thanks, Lisa. Certainly a tragedy now. A 16-year-old schoolboy is dead after being stabbed by another student. The incident occurred at the Frederick Smith Secondary School around 1 this afternoon. Now, neither the name of the deceased nor that of the student in police custody has been released as yet, but police and education officials, led by Minister of Education Santia Bradshaw, converged on the scene shortly after the incident happened. The body was removed from the school compound later in the afternoon, sometime around 5. Education Minister Bradshaw has expressed regret at the death of the Frederick Smith Secondary School student who, as you heard, was stabbed on the school's compound after an altercation with another student. Police say that incident occurred just after 1 this afternoon, and the Trent St. James institution was on lockdown following that incident, with a handful of students, police, medical officials and staff remaining.
The Ministry of Education would have responded this afternoon with a full team of all of our psychologists and a number of social workers to the scene to be able to counsel and to support not just the staff but also the family of the deceased, and to support a number of the students who would have witnessed the incident as well at the school. This is a very difficult time, not just for the school and the staff, who I had the opportunity to speak with at length. It is also very difficult for the family at this time.
Now, while acknowledging it is still at a sensitive stage, Ms. Bradshaw cautioned the public against attributing blame to anyone. Rather, she says the incident should be seen as a wake-up call.
I don't think this is a time for finger pointing, but I do feel that it is a condemnation on an entire society that this young man has lost his life here today. Those who perhaps could have done more and didn't do more, those who didn't respond as quickly as they could have, and to be able to give the support and the interventions that perhaps were needed. We can never see these things coming, but the reality is that these are problems that are confronting this institution. It's certainly confronting a number of other institutions, and this is really a call to the wider society to take stock of what is happening, and to be able to get on board, to be able to assist not just families but certainly to be able to support the institutions as well in this country.
Well, Lisa, the Education Minister says the school will remain closed on Monday, and that's to provide further assistance to the staff and to students.
We've also agreed that school will be closed on Monday, and we are preparing for counseling for students who we close the school, so we are actually preparing for the students to be able to come to the Ministry of Education for counseling. That release, I believe, will also go to the general public, and also we are working with our teachers as well to be able to counsel them, because some of the teachers actually witnessed the incident. They were there after trying to be able to resuscitate the young man, and as you can imagine, it's going to be difficult for them to be able to come back into the classroom so soon after this incident has happened. So the ministry is committed to ensuring that we provide the relevant support that is needed for the personnel here at the school.
Well, Lisa, as you said earlier, certainly a distressing situation. It is one that will keep developing, and of course we'll be following it and bringing the updates as they come to hand. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Tragedy indeed. Well, as Barbados moves towards phasing out petrol-based single-use plastics, university students have answered the call, stepping to the fore, assisting in the development of bio-based alternatives. One of them is final-year student at the University of the West Indies Cafel campus, Carrie-Ann Bovell, who has developed a starch-based bioplastic as part of a research project. Its starch was sourced from local sweet potatoes. The product was on show at the launch of the Blue Lab, an initiative of the United Nations Development Programme's multi-country office for Barbados and the OECS at the Copacabana Beach Club. The primary objective of the Blue Lab is to promote out-of-the-box thinking and experimentation to support small island developing states, or SIDS, with a focus on Caribbean countries in the sustainable development of their ocean-based economic sectors.
Using that starch, I combined it with completely organic materials, namely acetic acid, glycerol, and distilled water. There's some good chemistry and science stuff, which I won't review at this point in time. And then I created my bioplastic, as you can see. Its applications include the use of non-food packaging, specifically in the cosmetic field. On the island, we have many soap makers, so they can use this bioplastic to package their soaps and sell in the shops that we have across the island. And we can also use this bioplastic to line the very leaky bagasse or fiber-based food packaging we have here.
Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, praised the efforts made by the youth, reminding them the island's future relies on them. He says through the Blue Lab, space is being created for the realization of government's vision for young people to be seen and heard.
That is so necessary because we have to create a space now to transform not only Barbados and not only the Caribbean, but to transform the world. And the world is hungry now for something new. And I think we're privileged as well because the world has now come to the understanding that we cannot continue to treat to the ocean in the same way that we treated to the ocean. We've come to the realization that we cannot continue to dispose of garbage the way that we have traditionally disposed of garbage. We've come to the realization that we cannot treat to the fish or to the turtles. Where's Carla? There's Carla. But we cannot treat to the turtles in much the same way that we have. And that to do that, we need new people bringing new ideas to the table.
The UNDP, meantime, says Barbados has been a leader championing the agenda of the blue economy. A resident representative for the multi-country office for Barbados and the OECS, Magdi Martinez-Solomon, says that the island has shown its commitment with the establishment of a ministry in this regard.
It is a very serious business. We think that we need to diversify our economies so that they're less vulnerable to shocks, more resilient to changes, and more socially inclusive so that no one is left behind. And the blue economy could be a solution, one of the solutions to that idea of more resilience to change, more capacity to absorb shocks, more inclusiveness of the people who have harder lives, and more diversified economy so that we don't stand on one leg and when the wind blows hard, we risk of falling.
The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados, or ICAP, has praised government for meeting the International Monetary Fund targets under the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation, or BERT program. While hailing the recent achievements as good news, the group's president, Lydia McCollin, says there is still more to be done. She made the remarks this morning at ICAP's annual conference at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center.
ICAP congratulates the government for all its achievements thus far, but there is still much work to be done. ICAP, through its membership of the Barbados Private Sector Association, participates actively in the social partnership and is involved in contributing to policies. As a key stakeholder and building block, ICAP, through its over 1,000 members, is committed to assisting government in achieving some of its objectives, especially those relating to corporate governance, public financial management, and the reform of state-owned enterprises.
Ms. McCollin is pleased with the new financial reporting timelines which government has outlined for various entities.
I am pleased that the government, in its new Public Financial Management Act, sets up very strict guidelines for the submission of internal and year-end financial reports for its entities. There are currently companies in the private sector whose monthly reports must be submitted within 5 days of the month end, and the year-end audit completed and financial statements issued within 90 days of the year-end. For some, it is 60 days. I am therefore confident that the reporting timeline set by the government for its entities can be achieved with the right resources.